The Hungarian Grand Prix was meant to be Ferrari's moment of redemption after a chaotic and disappointing first half of the 2025 season. Charles Leclerc had delivered a masterclass in qualifying, securing pole position ahead of Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and George Russell. The scarlet-red Ferrari sat at the very front of the grid, with the Tifosi daring to believe that their team could finally convert track position into victory. But what unfolded over the next 2 hours would become one of the most damaging strategic disasters in recent Ferrari history, captured in leaked team radio messages that have sent shockwaves through the Formula One paddock. The race began with Leclerc maintaining his lead, but the margins were dangerously thin. Behind him, the McLarens were lurking, Red Bull was strategizing, and Ferrari's pit wall sat paralyzed by indecision. Lap after lap, the opportunity to build a commanding gap simply vanished as the team failed to capitalize on their track position advantage. The first major blunder came with an inexplicably late pit stop decision that would prove catastrophic for Leclerc's race prospects. While rival teams executed perfectly timed undercuts to gain positions, Ferrari hesitated at the crucial moment. The delay in bringing Leclerc into the pits meant his tyres were already fading, his grip dropping with each passing sector. The Monegasque driver watched helplessly as his commanding lead evaporated, pulled back into the jaws of the competitive pack through no fault of his own driving performance. The leaked team radio revealed the raw frustration exploding from Leclerc's cockpit. "We are going to lose this race with these things. We are losing so much time," he declared over the radio, his voice carrying the weight of months of strategic disappointments. This wasn't merely tactical frustration about tire performance or track position. This was deeply personal, the voice of a driver who felt completely ignored by his own team's decision-makers. Leclerc's most damning radio message came moments later. "You just had to listen to me." These 5 words cut through the headset like a dagger, representing not a suggestion or request, but a desperate plea born from years of watching Ferrari squander golden opportunities. The pole position holder had warned his engineers about the strategic pitfalls. He knew the optimal timing, yet his voice went completely unheard by the pit wall. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton's race unfolded as a slow, suffocating spiral from his P12 starting position. The 7-time world champion needed bold strategic thinking, an early pit stop, aggressive tire gambling, or innovative tactical moves to shake up the running order. Instead, what Hamilton received was silence, inaction, and strategic passivity that left him stranded in midfield traffic with no escape route planned. Lap after lap, Hamilton remained trapped behind slower cars while the Ferrari strategists offered no creative solutions. "Bit of a sitting duck behind these guys," Hamilton whispered over the radio, his voice carrying the quiet sting of a champion utterly defeated not by lack of pace, but by complete strategic abandonment. The radio message wasn't yelled or screamed, but delivered with the resigned tone of a driver who realized his team had effectively given up on his race. For television audiences watching the standard broadcast coverage, the strategic failures were disappointing, but not uncommon in modern Formula One. However, for those who gained access to the leaked team radio communications, the reality was utterly devastating. The radio messages weren't diplomatic coded language typical of professional motorsport communications. Instead, they were raw emotional breakdowns broadcast directly into the ears of millions of fans worldwide. Leclerc's voice cracked with genuine anguish as he stated, "I would have found a different way of managing those issues." Hamilton sounded completely disconnected from any strategic planning, as if the team had deliberately left him to struggle in traffic without providing any viable escape options. This wasn't simply poor communication between driver and pit wall. This represented the complete collapse of fundamental trust between Ferrari's most valuable assets and their strategic leadership. The strategic breakdown becomes clearer when examining Ferrari's tactical decisions throughout the race. Leclerc held the crucial track position advantage at the Hungaroring, a circuit infamous for being extremely difficult to overtake on. The textbook strategic play was straightforward: cover any undercut attempts, build a comfortable margin over pursuing cars, and maintain the lead through superior track position management. Ferrari executed the complete opposite of optimal strategy. They left Leclerc out on track as rival teams pitted their drivers for fresh tyres. His rubber degraded significantly, while others gained pace advantage with new compounds. The undercut strategies from McLaren and Red Bull worked perfectly, gaining crucial seconds that put them ahead when Leclerc finally made his pit stop. The tyre compound choices throughout the race were equally problematic. Ferrari opted for conservative, reactionary, and sluggish decision-making that felt consistently one lap too late. Every strategic move appeared hesitant. Every crucial call was second-guessed by the engineering team. The devastating result transformed Leclerc from leading comfortably at the front to being systematically overtaken by multiple McLaren drivers who had executed superior strategic planning. Ferrari's strategy team appeared completely lost during critical moments, with their pit wall seemingly ignoring available data, driver instincts, and fundamental racecraft principles. The engineering decisions contradicted basic strategic logic that even casual Formula One fans could recognize as flawed. Leclerc went from commanding the race to desperately defending against faster cars on fresher tires. After the checkered flag fell, Leclerc didn't attempt to diplomatically mask his frustration during post-race interviews. "We need to discuss those things before doing those," he stated firmly, his words carrying significant implications beyond simple criticism. Leclerc wasn't questioning the execution of a predetermined strategy. He was directly challenging whether the team had even followed their original pre-race strategic plan. That statement represents far more than a performance critique from a disappointed driver. Leclerc's words constitute a serious warning about fundamental structural problems within Ferrari's racing operations. When elite drivers begin openly doubting whether their own engineers are operating on the same strategic page, the problem transcends simple speed or mechanical reliability issues. Ferrari finds itself paralyzed by chronic indecision that has plagued the team throughout the 2025 season. The engineering leadership cannot decide whether to trust computer simulations or experience driver feedback from the cockpit. They struggle to determine whether bold strategic risks are worth taking or if conservative approaches hoping for competitor mistakes represent better options. Currently, Ferrari is executing neither approach effectively. They're trapped in strategic no man's land, lacking the outright pace to dominate races, but also lacking the tactical intelligence to defend positions effectively. The result is a capable racing car driven by elite-level talent, but supported by a strategic team that appears to be crumbling under championship pressure. Lewis Hamilton didn't make his controversial move to Ferrari to participate in midfield battles for minor points. The British champion joined the most iconic team in motorsport history specifically to build a lasting legacy and return Ferrari to championship-winning greatness. After witnessing the Hungarian Grand Prix strategic disaster, Hamilton must seriously question whether greatness remains achievable with current Ferrari leadership. Hamilton's radio silence during crucial race moments spoke volumes about his mental state. The short, curt responses, empty technical debriefs, and obvious lack of belief in strategic planning represented a champion accustomed to front-running pace, who found himself not just behind on track, but completely forgotten by his own team's tactical planning. Charles Leclerc has endured more strategic pain wearing Ferrari red than almost any driver in recent Formula One memory. Botched pit stop calls, mechanical failures, and strategy errors that directly cost race victories have become routine disappointments throughout 2025. The Hungarian Grand Prix wasn't simply another disappointing result. It represented the complete embodiment of everything systematically wrong with Ferrari's racing operations. Leclerc executed every aspect of his race responsibilities perfectly. He delivered pole position in qualifying, managed race pace effectively, followed team orders precisely, and maintained competitive positioning throughout multiple stint changes. Despite flawless driver performance, the team somehow managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of certain victory through incompetent strategic decision-making. The pain evident in Leclerc's radio communications wasn't about losing P1 finishing position or missing championship points. The anguish represented losing faith in Ferrari's ability to support his championship ambitions yet again. The Hungarian Grand Prix may be remembered as the day Ferrari didn't just lose another winnable race, but lost the fundamental trust of their two most valuable racing assets in 2025.